Subject History. Chapter 2. India, Events after 1960. After independence, India accepted the constitutional framework in 1950 and became a sovereign democratic nation. During initial period after independence, to solve different issues of economic, political, and social development, there were establishment of Planning Commission, emphasis on industrialization, and also several social reforms, including policies and programs for weaker sections of society were implemented. In this chapter we are going to study various events after 1960 mentioned below: 1. The 1960s, 2. The 1970s, 3. The 1980s, 4. The changes after 1991, 5. Indian economy, 6. Science and technology, 7. Changes in social field, 8. Globalization. 1. The 1960s. In the decade of 1960s, various events occurred which had huge impact on political situation in India. Events like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was first Prime Minister from 1947 to 1964, architect of India's foreign policy, pioneer of economic planning, contributed to social and economic development, liberated Goa, Diu, and Daman from the Portuguese rule in 1961. In Indian War 7. Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri Prime Minister from 1964 to 1966. 8. India-Pakistan War in 1965. 9. Tax Hent Agreement and death in 1966. 2. The 1970s. Various events took place like SMT Indira Gandhi Prime Minister from 1966 to 1977 and 1980 to 1984. Defeated Pakistan in 1971, contributed to emergence of Bangladesh, first successful nuclear test in 1974, launch of Satellite 7 Aryabhata in 1975, merger of Sikkim with India in 1975, declared national emergency, and suspended fundamental rights in 1975, returned to power, and became Prime Minister in 1980, evicted terrorists from Golden Temple, in 1984, assassinated by personal security guards. In 1984, Shri Desai became Prime Minister. After formation of Janta Party did not last long due to internal differences, Shri Charan Singh became Prime Minister, for short duration. 3. The 1980s. During this decade the Indian political system faced many new challenges. Shri Rajiv Gandhi Prime Minister from 1984 to 1989, reforms in economy, science, and technology, intervention in the issues of the Tamil minority in Sri Lanka, movement by ULFA in the northeast, criticized of political corruption in the purchase of long-range cannons from Bofors, Congress defeated in 1989, assassinated by LTTE terrorist in 1991. Shri Vishwantha Pratap Singh became Prime Minister 1989 to 1990 of coalition Janta Dal for very short time and implemented recommendations of Mundal Commission about reservation for OBCs. Shri Chandrasekhar Prime Minister of coalitions from 1990 to 1991 but failed to resolve economic crisis. 4. The changes after 1991. The year 1991 is held to be very important in the history of world as well as India. Shri P. V. Narasimha Rao Prime Minister, from 1991 to 1996, initiated new economic reforms and also Eros Janmabhoomi and Babri Mosque issue. Shri A. B. Vajpayee Prime Minister from 1999 to 2004 headed NDA government, unsuccessful dialogue with Pakistan, a number of successful nuclear tests in 1998, India became a nuclear power in 1995, Pakistan in Kargil War in 1999. 5. Indian economy, strived for modernization of economy, self-reliance, social justice, eradication of poverty, Planning Commission coordinated 5-year plans. Economic reforms of 1991, paved way for liberalization of economy, also called globalization. Information technology opened new avenues of employment. 6. Science and technology, Green Revolution by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, and White Revolution by Dr. Verghese Kurian made India self-sufficient in food grains and milk. Dr. Homi Bhabha laid foundation of India's atomic energy program, use for purpose of generation of electricity, pharmaceutical, and defense. Aryabh had a first satellite launched in space in 1975 and many more satellites were launched thereafter. Advancement in telecom sector. 7. Changes in social field. Number 1. Women empowerment. A separate Department of Women and Child Development established. A number of welfare schemes launched. Laws enacted to ensure social justice. Reservation of seats for women in local self-government bodies by 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendments. Number 2. Betterment of weaker sections. Appointment of Kakazaheb Kalilkar Commission on OBCs in 1953. Prevention of Atrocities Act in 1955, appointment of Mundal Commission in 1978 which recommended reservation of seats for OBCs in public employment, policy of reservation implemented by government in 1990. 8. Globalization, changes in economy, politics, science and technology, society and culture, emerged as an important country on global scene in different spheres, member of G20 and BRICS. Revolution in telecommunication sector, demonstrated to world how stable democracy can work successful in lifestyle.